So, one of my really great subscribers to the channel mentioned, you know what? It's time we should just do a full species tour of the house. And I have been thinking about doing that, but here's the thing. I want to make that the 1,000 sub kind of reward or milestone video. So, to kind of give a little something before we hit that, we're really close, only need like another 300 subs, which is a lot to me, but for a lot of the other channels out there, it's just, drop in the bucket. But until we get to that 1,000 sub, and I'll do the full species tour, I do have a lot of boas and python and ball pythons, so maybe I won't do every single one of those, but we'll do the full tour of downstairs, with the exception of one room that we're still renovating. So if we hit that before we hit the 1,000, then you'll see it. If not, then we'll leave that one up for maybe 5K or something like that, where you get to see the big stuff that I'm working on with like Christmas tree tubs and 6-foot enclosures and things like that. But that being said, to give back to the people who do follow this content and do enjoy it and love seeing all the little idiots that I have running around, we're going to check out my second room that is temperature and climate controlled, which is the Arid desert room. So back in September, you saw the gecko video tour. If not, you can check it right here. And now we're going to go check out probably a two-parter, because I'm going to end up talking a lot. It'll probably be close to like half an hour or 35 minutes to do the full thing, a little bit more in content. I don't have as many critters crammed into that one because they're larger, they need more room, but I can talk about them a little bit more. So stay tuned for probably what is going to be part one of that. Let's go check it out. All right, here we go. So keeping in mind that yesterday was cleaning day, and today I just got off work, and we're gonna do the whole tour. So just got off work, picked up some greens from the grocery store, crickets from the reptile store, and fed them off. So everything is not super pristine, and feeding day was 3 days ago for all of the non-bug eaters and vegetarians. So again, everything is not super pristine, everything is not super clean because of yesterday, but I think you'll see some stuff. Also keep in mind, if you recall, if you watched the previous not the previous video, but an earlier video of, this is the room that we had our fire in, or fire scare, I guess you could say. Things are being remodeled, things are improving, and things are going to be changing, hopefully some sooner than later, and I will discuss that as we go along. So we're just going to go around. I'll just do a quick little sweeping view. So here's this room. So that's the room, and we're going to start here, and we're just going to go around, okay? So to start off with, partner is a cheesehead. Not from Wisconsin, also into Star Wars, just like Star Wars and the Packers for some reason. Anyway, so as we come over here, this tank is actually completely empty. This is where a new acquisition will be moving into once he clears quarantine. And I will do a full video or talk about in a podcast about all of the new acquisitions, despite the fact I'm doing my utmost not to actually search for new snakes. They just keep popping up. But that being said, so this was a holding container for one small sand boa, and then this is another sand boa. Eventually, I plan to put a rack into here for some of these smaller animals. So, fun fact, I've actually never purchased a Kenyan sand boa. Every single one has been gifted or relinquished to me via either rescue or just couldn't take care of it any longer or things like that. So I have 3 Kenyan sand boas, never bought a single one, but plan to build a 32-quart rack, and I will show you where the plans are. I will put that as we get to that. Moving right along, here is our famous Rosy. There's a little face. Hey, Rosy. So Rosy is our Arizona Grand Canyon area locale Rosy boa. There she is. She's still a little bit of a chonker, and she always has been since we've had her. But that being said, sorry about the camera about that. I've done a little bit more research into the Rosy boa since I put out the species spotlight, since I've gotten her 2.5, 3 years ago now. A lot of people don't actually even put water in their enclosures most of the time. Like out of a month, they'll put it in there for like a week, and that's it, because they actively do not drink a lot of water. There we go, focusing on our face. There is my cute little Rosy. There she is. Okay, Rosy, we're going to put you back in there. I'm sorry, Rosy. So there's Rosy. She does okay. She doesn't ever make use of her little cave in there. She most of the time either hangs out there right in front of the cage or on that rock. For the most part, that's where she spends most of her time. She doesn't actually move a whole lot either. But still give her the chance to do so, and she doesn't ever take advantage of it. And then moving down below, this is Nest Pierce. This is our gray banded king snake, or Lampropeltis alterna. Or you'll hear a lot of king snake caliber people refer to them just as alterna. So here we go. So we did the couple different whatchamacallits, blah 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 blah, enclosure upgrades. So this is the most recent one. He just knocked over that, even though I put it up yesterday. That's a little spot where I would like to think he goes to go into blue and shed, but he doesn't. He just buries there sometimes. And he spends most of his time either buried back here, back there, or there he is. So he's growing pretty quickly, but they're a smaller species. They don't usually get too big, especially compared to like the Brooks or the Florida king snakes or even the California king snakes. They do get quite a bit larger than these guys, but hopefully we'll have a girth for him or maybe stud him out soon. We'll see how that goes. So moving right along, this is my supply closet, which I had to take the door off of to make room for that. But that's okay. So supply closet. It's coming here, extra lamps, light bulbs, vermiculite and bedding, an extra little aquarium, some heat pads for moving things like that, extra cords, more heat lamps, decor, bowls, cricket food, things like that. This is the third Kenyan sand boa. There he is, actually. Haha, he's rarely out. But yep, there he is. There's the third Kenyan sand boa, the regular looking one. So none of them are anything. So one is a stripe. That is Seamus, or that is Dean. This is Seamus. And then Angelina is the girl, the big chonker girl that we have. But there we go. That's this one. I used to keep leopard geckos before I knew any better because I got the inspiration from the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. They have a really cool reptile display. But I went, oh, hey, leopard geckos need a little bit more room than like a 10-gallon equivalent aquarium. So got obsoleted, and then it just sat around for a while. And so now we're going to do this, and then eventually I'll probably turn it into just a straight like plant terrarium. But we'll see how things go. This is the dubia colony right here. Miscellaneous snake hooks / use that to open up the window. This is the guinea pig or North American house hippo food. Maserai for everything, all types of rodents. So yes. And then we come over here. Actually, I'm going to grab the ladder, the step stool, so we can actually get a decent look up here. Never mind the DVDs. This actually used to be our bedroom before the reptiles took over the entire house. So here is the African fat-tailed geckos that we saw. I threw in some dusted crickets in here. Sometimes I'll gut load them if I can. Today I didn't really have a whole lot of time with that. They usually spend most of their time. Oh, hey, look at this. So they laid these yesterday, from yesterday morning. A couple of, they dried out pretty quickly, but infertile eggs, the fat-tailed geckos. But they're usually under here. There they are. Right there. Cute little buggers. And then down below, we have our baby sulcata tortoise. Took a while to get growing. They're supposed to grow like weeds, and I don't know, their growth rates are really weird. Like Speed Bump, who we normally hear at the moment whenever I'm in here, he didn't grow very much the first year, and then he exploded. This one hasn't grown much the first year either. And now he's really starting to get going. I don't know if it's like they just take a little while to get accustomed and then they just get going. But so as you all know, tortoises can be quite messy when it comes to just their basic husbandry. So there we go, zoom in on him. There we go. That looks a little bit better, right? So changed his water yesterday. That's what it looks like. So I need to dump that out in just a second. So if anyone thinking about getting a tortoise, doesn't matter if they're this big or they're an Aldabra sized, that's what they do every single day. That's literally less than 24 hours old. So thanks, buddy, as well as the greens that I don't honestly know why I have this cute little bowl, because it's just for show at this point, because they just throw it everywhere. And you'll see what I mean as soon as I show you Speed Bump and Pinecone's big old run. Down below, Here we go. Sorry about the reflection. There is our little rescue leopard gecko. There she is in her little humid hide. One of the two. The other one's over there. Threw in some more crickets again, but there's the 20-gallon right there. Doop, doop. There's that. This is the tub I use to throw the crickets into for gut loading. There are some in there right now. Just to kind of get it going. The weather here kind of throws the crickets off kind of weird sometimes. So normally twice a week I'll get a box of crickets and I'll throw them in and gut load them overnight and then feed them off. But weather was kind of weird with the snow and shipping and everything like that. So it went 2 extra days longer than I would have liked, and I just straight got them to them as soon as I could, and there are more gut loading, and I'll be giving those more to tomorrow. Those are just a couple extra little tanks left over from like transporting bugs and like a little frog and stuff. And that's actually where the gray band used to live in too. And then we're gonna move right along. So, we'll just take that again. And up we go. It's our boy Moose, our big boy. So as you can see, there he is. His awesome enclosure that has been prominent in a couple other little videos. So again, that one doesn't really do anything. It's mostly just there to use for places for him to crawl up onto and move around, which is totally fine. Over there, it just hangs out there. Same with this one. That's where that is. So he doesn't actually have UVB in here, but he does get 12 hours of natural daylight in the room and in his enclosure. So this is a 4x2 enclosure. Legos, because I'm still a man baby. So there's Moose, our bull snake, our probably wild caught, don't know how old, but relinquished / gifted / hopefully used for animal ambassador in the near future bull snake Moose. And then I have talked about her a couple times. If you watch the podcast, you may have heard me talk to Travis Wyman about her, as he has one. This is our black-headed python who hates my guts. Working on her with handling the bestest of there. See, just like that, she flips right up. She hates me. The store that I got her from said that she used to be just absolutely amazing and so sociable, and they're lying. They're liars. They lied to me. There's no way. But she is quite the cranky butt. She makes weird vocalizations, and if I can grab this without her flipping out on me. There we go. So yeah, she broke her shed a little bit, and I got the other one yesterday, but she was sitting on top of this and was not wanting to move, so I got it from you this time. So there she is, and she is also done in the classic little way that I've done a lot of these enclosures, where it's kind of the split substrate. So these guys, like the Woma, and the only two of the two genus, they come from Australia. The Womas are usually a bit more arid, more sandy in general. These guys come from a little bit more tropical, a little bit more humid, but still fairly... We could throw the word arid out there without too much asterisk to that. But so blackheads, they usually use a little bit more humidity. The Womas are usually a bit more drier, which is why you see like a lot of zoo setups. These guys usually have some sort of dirt or wood bedding, and then the Womas typically are almost always on sand or rock. So in here, she has some dirt of the desert substrate, a nice little rock for basking. There's that. This room is basically kept at an ambient temperature that's good for a lot of these, and then they add supplemental heat. That bulb does put out a little bit of warmth, so if I ever give her a big meal, which is like, she's on small rat, so if I give her like a small medium, she will go over there and she'll just sit there and just kind of digest on that rock. And now I will leave Jerkface alone. Bark, there's that. And then down below, this one, so we generally refer to the rooms as the tropical or gecko room over there because it's mostly geckos, and it's cooler, it's more humid, and so it's the tropical room. This one, it's a little bit more, this one we call the arid or desert room. It's really more like subtropical, and then we make adjustments. But this one is the Timor monitor, where yes, it's not exactly a temperate species, but it's a nice-sized enclosure. We'll back up a little bit as I sit on the turtle thing. So this is the full enclosure. It's about 4 feet wide, 3 feet high, and 3 feet deep. So it's a good size for a Timor. And most of the time when he knows I'm out here, because he's not a fan of me, although we can do a fair bit of handling. He doesn't flip out, he doesn't tail whip or bite, but he just doesn't really like it. He's usually under that cork bark. Otherwise, he will be there basking and moving around and hunting for the crickets. This is currently an empty tank. It housed a tegu for a while. Now he's moved downstairs to a full 6-foot enclosure. This is, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably raise this up and lift this whole stack and move those Legos eventually. But I'll probably lift this up a little bit, and I might put maybe an indigo snake or something like that. I kind of wanted to do a 6-foot enclosure for an indigo. Because they do like to move, but it's a good size. It's deeper than most of the 6-foot enclosures, and it's 5 feet. That's why you can see it's a little bit wider there. But so yeah, I don't know. Just gonna do something with that. Haven't quite decided yet. As I said before, it is in a transitional period.